Thank you, Chiwei. Hi, I'm the writer-director of Eat With Me, and I'd like to start by taking a quick poll in the audience right here. Um, who do you think, raise your hand if you think your mom is the best cook in the world. Raise your hand if you think your mom's cooking is just, eh. Well, either way, this is her way to tell you she loves you. And this is the heart of our film. Eat With Me is a feature-length narrative film about a middle-aged Asian mother in search of herself and tries to reconnect with her gay son through food. So I'm going to give you a taste of Eat With Me. Hi, I'm David. I'm the writer-director of Eat With Me.
And I'm Joyce. I'm the producer.
This is my husband. This is my son.
Ready?
This is my son's crazy neighbor. And, well, this is me.
In our film, Eat With Me, Emma is someone who has bottled up her feelings her whole life until one day she's finally had enough. She walks out on her husband and moves into the city to crash with her gay son, Elliot. We get to go on this journey with Emma as she tries to repair a failing relationship with her son and reclaim her own appetite for life.
It's not about just making this movie because we want to make this movie. It's about opening people's eyes and giving them a sense of possibility.
We want anyone who sees this film to feel like they always have a choice to change.
We hope you love this story as much as we do. And thank you.
Thank you.
As you can see in the film, we try to address a few different themes. The parent-child communication gap, parents with gay children, the power of food, and also the journey to find yourself. But most importantly, this is my story. My dad did cut off his wedding ring in the middle of the night one night, and my mom was just watching. I know it's crazy, but I know it's, my mom actually just laughed it off and said, what can you do? But they're still married to this day. But I couldn't stop but think, what if she didn't just laugh it off? What if she just decided that she had enough and just walked away instead? My mom has had high cholesterol for a very long time, and my dad always wouldn't let her eat anything too fatty or too sweet. So one day we're in this vacation and we decided to go to Cold Stone for a nice ice cream treat because my mom loves ice cream. So much so that she would pick the ice cream and she goes, I've never seen so much passion in her eyes. And it's over a vanilla ice cream cone. I know it's just ice cream, but it made me realize something a little bit deeper. My mom has always put herself second to her children and to her husband all her life. And I don't know sometimes if she ever lived to her fullest potential. I'm sure a lot of mothers out here feel the same way, that they have to put themselves second to a lot of things and also just lose a big part of themselves after attending to everybody else's needs. Sometimes it's even hard to even remember what your own needs are. So Eat With Me is my tribute to my mom. The story has resonated with so many people, and we've gotten a tremendous response on our social media. Since we launched our YouTube channel, we've been viewed over 8,000 times, and we gained over 2,000 fans on our Facebook page. We've also launched a bunch of online contests where our fans would post their favorite food stories and also favorite food pictures. So we're going to keep running those throughout the year. While most filmmakers create innovation through social media, we like to bring it back to the basics. Our core audience, mainly our parents, often prefer face-to-face instead of face-to-Facebook. So we like to engage with them through community-based in-person events, and we launch an email campaign and so that we can reach out to them online. We also have had frank discussions with parents of gay children, and we also marched at the LA Gay Pride Parade in solidarity. In meeting with the LGBT community leaders in China, we learned the harsh realities of being gay in China, and also they spoke of the desperate need for Chinese gay youth to see gay Asian characters that are just normal. They want to know they're okay just the way they are. There you go. So here's how you can help. We just launched our fundraising campaign on Kickstarter, and this is for you to donate to the making of the film. Every donation is very much appreciated, and we have thank you gifts ranging from contributions to regional food banks and film premiere tickets, and also a personalized Chinese cooking meal prepared by us. We're going to start shooting this summer for 16 days of shoot, so the time to act is now. In fact, I do mean right now. If we're going to pick 2 audience members here, and if they tweet "Eat with me at camp," and we'll give them this amazing canvas bag. The ultimate goal for the film is to inspire people to reach beyond their fears and psychological barriers. And we want to give people hope that things can change once they take the first step. So, don't eat alone, eat with us.
Eat with me.
Eat with me.
跟我吃
Eat with me.
Eat with me.
Eat with me Don't use that
Oops. So please support us and search Eat With Me on Kickstarter.com and follow us on our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and so forth. Thank you so much.
Thank you, David. Now we're going to turn it over to our jury for some comments, feedback, and questions about the project. And I'm going to start with Leanne down at the end.
Okay. Hi, David.
Hi, Leanne.
First of all, congratulations, and going first, it's very nerve-wracking. So I give props to you. Great job in engaging the audience from the get-go by asking a question, because we all believe that our moms, well, most of us do, cook the best, and it is truly from the heart. And of course, there's nothing like a canvas bag to engage people as well, right? So a few things that I wanted to tell you about, just knowing about the project. I mean, as a mother of 2 sons, of course, I naturally am drawn to mother-son stories. And in this case, also, we know that our community, in our community, there are a lot of issues with family relationships, especially when, there's issue of, acceptance of homosexuality. Very interesting that it's also very personal to you, and also that there's, the mother running away from home in this particular story. And of course, I think we could all relate to food, right? I checked out some of your social media, and I'm really, impressed by the numbers that you've had while you're engaging them. I love that you have a lot of food stuff on your Facebook, especially that one entry about the gold pills that make you poop gold, which was very random, and the food photo contest. But when you were talking about, engaging the audience and, talking about the issue of LGBT acceptance, I feel like I didn't feel that as much in any of your social media and also on your website. Okay. And so I think there's an opportunity there for collective stories somehow online. And I also thought about, through your Twitter and through your Facebook, it would be kind of cool if you started an account that's in the voice of your mom, and then an account in the voice of the son, and they're kind of chit-chattering, between each other, and it would be interesting to see that story develop online that way, right? And also, because also the food is such a big deal, and there's so many foodies here, it'd be kind of fun to engage people with different recipes or invite people to share their favorite recipes from their mother. I'm sure you've kind of done that, but just to be a little bit more focused. The one thing about your storyline, and I haven't seen the whole story, is that I was just curious, why the gay son had to run this rundown or work at this rundown Chinese restaurant. It seems a little cliche, and the mom is very Americanized. So I thought maybe she could be, it could be a rundown or down and out Italian restaurant or an American bistro. Because most of my gay friends would not work at a Chinese restaurant. That's just, So I'm just looking at it from that perspective, So that's the one thing that stood out for me. But okay, I've said enough, so I'm just gonna pass it on over.
Thank you, Leanne.
Yeah. Thank you.
We're going to go through and collect some comments and questions from all the jurors, and then give it back to David for for response. So please, Jigger.
Yeah, great. I'll keep my remarks. I agree with a lot of this. Great opening, waiting to get the audience hooked into what you're about to deliver. It was a good use of the clip as well. But then I felt that I wanted to have more concrete plans of what you were doing with your social media. I mean, it's great. It's great to have followers, but like, how are you actually engaging them in this campaign? How are you turning them into foot soldiers for you to raise these funds primarily? And then also, you can use this as a way to get so many different issues that are covered, whether it's and so when you're talking about the outreach with the community in China and in LA, I wanted to actually just hear like one concrete thing that you were gonna do with the film and that community. If they were gonna be promoters for the film, if you were gonna use the film to start a dialogue, and I think some of that can come across more directly in the campaign. Just on the Kickstarter side of things, I think you probably have too many gifts. There's too many levels. That's kind of a general comment for all of the campaigns. It's like you want to give people 5 choices, and because people want to support once they're on that page, and I think there's too many options for people. Okay, I'll leave it at that for now.
Hi.
Hello. Thank you.
First of all, I think this is a really great project, and I do want to commend you too, in particular, for taking a really personal story and bringing that out. I think there's a lot of power in that, and I think that's something, that personal story is something that really should be a critical piece of how you present this project. I think there's a ton of community engagement potential with this, obviously, as you've already seen, where it's really picking up steam. I think you want to be, with the storyline, really be careful about keeping the storyline focused. So the story's not trying to do too much and really kind of focusing on the mother-son relationship. It seems like that's really the core of it. And I think for engagement, there's a lot of opportunity to kind of take certain aspects of the story and develop them further in your transmedia and your community engagement piece. So I would be careful about not trying to get too distracted by all the interest that's bubbling up now and remain focused on your kind of vision for the story. And with the community engagement piece, I would say, especially given that there's a ton of potential here for intergenerational dialogue, particularly in the Asian American community. And I would say, you know, other communities that come from a culture where it's not as easy to talk about this stuff. And I think thinking about partners that you can work with, groups like PFLAG, groups like GLSEN, there's tons of networks around the country that I think could really embrace this story as a tool for dialogue. So just something to think about in the future.
Cool, thank you.
And back to Deb, we have about a minute if you want to have a response to any of the questions that were brought up.
I just want to thank you for all your comments. It was great. And yes, and then to respond to some of the social media and our plans for the film, we do plan to sort of have a lot of special screenings and panels around the country. And also, we actually have talked to the leaders from mainland China that we're going to do some underground screenings with them. And these are like really underground community leaders, and they have their radio shows that are just online, and a bunch of other screenings that in the country. And we do work with PFLAX as well as API Equality, which is the Asian Pacific's Islander. So we're trying to build from there. And also, you're right, I think we do have a lot of different focus, and we kind of should be a little bit kind of tightened out. We kind of like that we have a few different niche, and we want to reach out to like food bloggers, and we're going to reach out to obviously a lot of LGBT communities and as well as Asian Americans. So we want to try to like possibly kind of combine them and sort of bring them all together as much as possible. But yeah, so that's kind of the general sum up of all of that. Yeah.
Great, thank you. And we're running a little bit long on time, but we have time for just one comment from the audience if there is on David's project. It could be a question or a constructive comment. Over here.
Hi, I'm Valerie. Hi, I'm okay. I'm fine. I really enjoyed your pitch. I think just to echo some things that we're saying is like the goal of the film, because it feels like there may be sort of a clear goal in terms of what you hope to accomplish by telling such a personal story, and then the way that this can be something that both in your community and then in other communities that can really help to ease some of the pain of coming out, that might be also something to include in the pitch, because I think it's such an important piece of what you're doing. And I just really enjoyed it.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
David, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you guys.